Hi, I'm Kenny Joya. Welcome to another one of my tutorials. In this video, I'm going to show you how to glue items in REAPER. Now, the idea of gluing or gluing items is to take two or more items and glue them together to make one item, making it easier to work with for copying and pasting. We don't have to group it or multi-select it each time. It just makes it easier to work with items. So let me show you a few uses for gluing and how to do it. We have a track in front of us here that has a bunch of drum tracks. There's a kick, snare, hi-hat, and a crash, or a splash. Now if we go to the section over here, there's a drum fill going into the next section on bar 10. Let's hear it. And these items are separate from these. These items are just for the fill. But if we want to edit them, we would double click, say the kick one, shows up down here, but it's just for the fill. We might want to put these two together to make it easier to work with. So we would do this by gluing them. So let's select this one and this one by holding down Shift. We could also marquee select them like this and select them both, and then go to the menu under Item and down here to glue. We could also glue items within time selection, but for this purpose, we'll just choose it based on the selected items. So click it here, and it makes a new Midi item out of both of them. So now if we double click it, we have the fill and the downbeat on bar 10. So it's all in one item. And we could do the same thing with these other tracks. Just select them all. And instead of going to the menu, we could just right click. Go down here to glue items, and it glues them together, making a new item for each track. For our snare, our hi-hat, and our splash or crash. So that's one way to glue items. And in this situation, it's just Midi. But it's also going to work for audio. Here we have a guitar track, a wah guitar, and it sounds like this. And as you can see, there's a lot of edits in it because we punched in different sections and it cleaned up all the fades or crossfades to make the part sound seamless. But when I'm done with it, I might want to make this one item. So we can commit to it by gluing it. We could double click the track to select them all, and then right click and go down here to glue items, and it turns it into one item. In this case, an audio item. Now you should be aware with audio, it's actually creating a whole new file. And also, if you want to change your edit, we can't really do that. So what I suggest doing for situations like this is to first duplicate the track. Right here. Then we can glue just one of them. And then mute and hide the other one. Go to our track manager and just hide this one. So back to one item for this guitar. But if we notice that one of the edits is bad, we can always go back. Just show this again. And we still have the original. But by gluing this file over here, it makes it a lot easier to work with. If you want to move it somewhere else or copy it, it's a lot easier than selecting all of these first. Now gluing also helps for looping our recordings. Let me show you. Let's make a new project. And I'll insert a track based on a track template, which is a drum machine that I created, which is multiple instances of the Resample-matic 5000. One for the kick, a snare, and a bunch of others. So now I can record Midi on this track. And let's say we wanted to loop that. But we don't want to loop it from over here. We want it to be exactly from the bar. So one of the things we could do is start at bar 2. Let's say this started here. We could just trim it to bar 2 at the beginning and bar 4 at the end. So now this is a perfect loop. But if we want to loop this throughout the song, we can't just bring it out. We need to change the size of this item. So we could do that by gluing it, even though it's just one item, because we're changing the boundaries of this item. So let's right-click it and choose Glue Items. And now it recreated that item, but from bar 2 to bar 4. So now if we want to loop it, just trim it out, and see each one of these is now a loop. So it's a great way of redefining the bounds of our items. And it'll work the same way for audio or for video. Just change the bounds, glue it, and then you can loop it. There's one other thing I want to show you for gluing, and it's kind of cool. When we glue Midi items based on virtual instruments, they stay Midi. So we can still edit them like this. But if we put the effects right in the item, let's open this up. And let's drag all these on top of the item. Then we can remove them from the track. See, they're not here anymore. Now they're on the item, but they're still going to sound the same. So let's split this right here. Get rid of this. And now let's glue this. And watch what happens. Right-click, glue items. It actually renders it as audio. Still going to sound the same. But now it's actually audio we can edit. And again, we can still loop it by trimming it out. But now it's audio instead of Midi. It's pretty cool. So that's pretty much it. That's gluing items in Reaper. Makes it a lot easier for editing to deal with one item instead of many. I hope you learned something. I hope you can use it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.